All right, man. I want to give like a little bit more than brief season preview on the Detroit Lions week one opponent, the Cardinals from Arizona. We back, Motor City Sports Talk. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. Won't miss another video. And yeah, we played the Cardinals week one, and I'm starting my season preview off a little bit earlier than I want to, but I think it's the proper time to do so. Last year I did so. I previewed all the opponents the Lions played for the season, and we're going to continue the tradition to kick it off this offseason. We know we will have training camp injuries, and everything is, subjective due to the injuries and, moving around, and rookies that we don't expect to do good and rookies we expect to do bad. And we start off there with the Arizona Cardinals. They have a rookie quarterback. He's listed at 5'10", probably about 200 pounds, Kyler Murray. And we got a new head coach who was, who's King, what's his name? Cliff Kingsbury, excuse me, I think his name is. And he's bringing the air raid playbook to the NFL. Okay, one thing you have to worry about when somebody brings an innovative offense to the NFL, it takes a adjustment period for NFL defenses to catch up to it. Okay, the option they said it never worked in the pro football. Somebody tried it one day against Warren Sapp and the Bucks, and it didn't work. And then somebody kind of, did a little innovation, and it worked for a couple quarterbacks, Cam Newton, RG3, and it worked. But then the NFL adjusts to it. So same thing with Chip Kelly's offense in Philly. It worked for a second, then the NFL adjusted to it. So Cliff Kingsbury, he may be good week one or year one, in my opinion, with the offense. It might catch people off guard, but eventually the NFL will catch up, and he have to make adjustments, not just on a year-to-year basis, on a week-to-week basis, and kind of put some pro-style principles in there. But I think it's going to be a smash hit off rip. They got Akeem Butler, big tall receiver. I think he down there from Arizona State, I think it is. They still got Larry Fitz, who primarily working in the slot. They brought in Max Williams, tight end from Baltimore. They brought in Andy Isabel, I believe, the little shifty receiver. I forget where he's from, like Maine or something like that, a smaller school, but he can really run. They still got David Johnson, which I think David Johnson is going to return to Pro Bowl form if they have success with Kyler Murray and Kingsbury, and they give him the ball, running the ball, and he's going to get a whole bunch of catches. I say he rises to prominence because a mobile quarterback, Kyler Murray, is going to make him just that more deadly. And you've seen that last year with Lamar Jackson and some of the running backs they had in Baltimore. Now, defensively, they're going to be mentioning Patrick Peterson for the first, 4 games, PED suspension, okay? He wanted to find his way out of Arizona, and I think he got humbled by that performance-enhancing drug ban. May be a little bit politicking behind closed doors. But they brought in Terrell Suggs. Thought I never see him not in the Baltimore Ravens uniform. And don't forget, Ozzie Newsome is no longer the general manager or the team president pulling the strings no more. They got a new team president over there. And maybe he just felt that Terrell Suggs wasn't worth it. Book in with Chandler Jones, another outstanding guy. They got Deontay Thompson, safety from Alabama, who I really like the tape on. And they got a number. They let Robert Nkanichi go. A lot of people in the Lions thought they wanted him, but he was just lazy. He got let go for being lazy. And like I said, Patrick Peterson to be gone. Hassan Campbell guy, I think it's not, or Hassan, whatever his name in the linebacker they got out of Temple. I'm sorry if I butchered his name. I don't have my computer in front of me. He got a knee injury or something, so he out 6 to 8 weeks. So who knows if he'll be ready for the week one. But I think they got an opportunity to be a solid team just because they got a really solid defense, okay? And that offense is going to be tricky, so it's going to pose some problems for Matt Patricia in the Detroit Lions. They can go back and look at the college film, but if Cliff Kingsbury is smart enough to know, he's going to have to make some adjustments to that offense. He's going to use some West Coast principles, or he's going to have to use some pro-style principles in that offense, but one thing you do know, you want to keep this kid in the pocket, and you want him to throw over Damon Harrison, Mike Neal, I almost said Ziggy Ansah, we still here, Romeo Okwara, Devin Kennard. And if I were the Detroit Lions, I would bring a ton of pressure up the middle with my blitzing linebacker, especially with the speed of Gerard Davis. I bring a lot of a lot of heat with him coming up the middle of the field. I would be pressing him a lot of blitzes from the middle. I'd be in his face trying to collapse the pocket. A lot of things got to do with containment. Tell my defensive ends, do not crash inside, keep contained. I would spy him early on, and I really try to take away the quarterback binky. And his binky is that basically like a pacifier, using a child term. His binky is the running back. He going to try to dump down David Johnson. I'll be looking to chip him out the backfield, looking to tackle him coming out the backfield. And I really want to stop him from having any success trying to catch the ball out the backfield. They got some big targets. Butler's a big target, and Isabel is real shifty. So you looking at a few things that you might want to do week one. But defensively, they missing Peterson. But Arizona is always, they got a sound defense, and bringing in a vet like Suggs, and they brought another vet from New England, Charlie Jones, over a couple years ago. And a Hassan guy from Temple, he'll probably be out for this game. So they kind of, with him and Peterson now, it's kind of with rookies in the back end. It kind of set up for a game for the Lions to go there and put some points up. You know what I'm saying? Had some success. Inkanichi gone. They got to have some success on the ground. It should be a game offensively where the Lions pretty much have their way. It may be a game where it may start off slow because they still integrating a new offense through the quarterback, like Darrell Bevel say. He trying to figure out what Stafford not comfortable with and how we can work on things that he not comfortable, he not good at. So it's still a fill out period. But I think offensively, Kingsbury and Kyler Murray got a leg up on Matthew Stafford in that offense because Kingsbury and Murray, they understand. I think they worked together before. They understand each other, and they used to that offense. So from that aspect, even though Murray ain't been on this level yet, and Detroit got a stout front four, and they got a really good back end, depending on the number 2 corner. This could set up to be, it's supposed to be set up to be a really good game for the Lions. But like I said, don't sleep on that air raid offense, especially if Kingsbury made a few tweaks and he got a few, tricks of the trade in there. That this could be a sneaky game, especially for fantasy owners, where it could be a ton of points scored if the Lions not prepared for that offense. You know what I'm saying? And they got to prepare that offense by bringing pressure up the middle, taking away David Johnson, and taking away, Larry Fitzgerald, his security blanket. I bet on Isabel, and I bet on Hakeem Butler beat me down the field. But they are at home. A ton of Arizona Cardinals fans probably wasn't happy with Kyler Murray being a pick. But I remember another rookie quarterback going down to Arizona and baptizing them, Cam Newton. His debut, he debuted in Arizona. It was a huge thing amongst me and my friends. When I was a Cam Newton fan. I'm no longer really a fan of his, but we wanted to see how good he do with so much doubt and so much question about his first game, and he came out and torched the Arizona Cardinal. Maybe a week or two later, he put on the air show down there at home versus the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers had to give him a shot, so it's not foreign for quarterbacks to step up and do good. Remember, Cam Newton was 6'4", 6'5". He went crazy, and also want to say if Kyler Murray have a bad preseason, it doesn't mean he won't have a good regular season. Cam Newton had a terrible regular season, a terrible preseason. He lit it up in the regular season. So that's not going to be indicative of how a season. It may not be indicative of how a season go. But I think the Arizona Cardinals is going to be I think I'm not really have a feel on how good they'll be or how bad they'll be, but I think they might sneak up on some people and put some points up. I do. With that offense, is going to take a minute, but when they get Peterson back and the Hassan linebacker, they'll be all right. I don't expect them to win 2 or 3. I expect them to win a few games depending on how good Kyler Murray be, but I do expect the Lions to perform. I expect them to win this game, but it wouldn't surprise me if that air raid offense gave them some problems because it's new, it's innovative, and I think Cliff Kingsbury got the presence of mind to know that he got to make some tweaks to the offense. But we'll see. The Arizona Cardinals don't have no expectations through the media, just as the Lions don't have expectations. They have us winning 3 or 4 games this year, a lot of the media. So they'll be playing with pretty no pressure on them. And I think the Lions be playing with a little bit of pressure on them because they're expected by their fan base, at least, to beat the Arizona Cardinals. But, hey, let me know what you guys think. Motor City Sports Talk, we'll be moving on to our Week 2 opponent, and we'll kind of go in order unless our divisional opponents overlap. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email. If you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, keep sharing the videos. One time for the one time. Motor City